When my boyfriend Ethan Campbell brought his sweet sister, Emma Parker, to my house, I knew the main event was about to begin. Back when my fashion design sketches won awards, she'd sigh, "I envy you. Your family can afford art school," while I had to grind through regular high school. When I attended fashion shows, she'd whine, "Must be nice having money to play around." Meanwhile, I'm stuck working overtime without vacations. At our engagement party, she sniffled dramatically, "You're so lucky, Lily. Ethan's such a catch who adores you. Not like me. Always the unwanted foster kid. Ethan, ever the white knight for his traumatized sister, made me buy her jewelry, designer bags, and hand-stitched traditional gowns. Then I died in a car crash, only to hear Emma complain about her unfinished dress. Now Reborn, I watch timid Emma trail behind Ethan into my Hanfu studio. Game on. Ethan barged in unannounced with his precious Emmy. The girl peeked from behind him like some delicate hothouse flower. I bit back a smirk. "Lily, this is my sister." Ethan shielded her like a mother hen. "She just returned from Europe. Make her 2 outfits." I grabbed my measuring tape, eyeing her silk blouse. "What style? Tang Dynasty? Ming? Hand-embroidered Suzhou silk or machine-stitched?" Emma gazed hungrily at displayed garments before fiddling with her sleeve. I don't know these fancy things like you rich girls do." Ethan immediately comforted her, then ordered me, "Give her your best pieces like that phoenix gown you wore last month." He eyed our similar builds. "Let her pick from your closet. Those new designs too." I smiled sweetly. Of course. My 3-story villa housed the studio below and personal collection upstairs. The dressing room overflowed with brocade robes, hairpins, and embroidered accessories. Ethan rummaged through my closets like he owned them. "Take whatever you want," he told Emmy. She caressed a gold-threaded cape, venom lacing her tone. "Must be nice burning cash on costumes. Better warn Ethan after marriage. He'll need 3 jobs to fund your shopping addiction." Ethan shot me a dark look. "We'll discuss responsible spending later." Emma rushed to hug me. "Sorry, Lily. I didn't mean." I patted her head. "No need to apologize, little viper. Your greed just sealed your fate." Emboldened by my silence, Ethan piled 6 gowns into Emmy's arms. She preened before mirrors, oblivious to the hidden needles in the hems and allergic reactive dyes I'd specially prepared. Let the fitting begin. Then, he started picking out jewelry again. Emma Parker placed my pure gold filigree feathered crown on her head and asked Ethan with a smile, "Do I look like a princess?" Ethan grinned adoringly and nodded repeatedly. "Emma, you are a princess." Turning to me, he said, "Lily, wrap these up for Emma. We'll take them all." I nodded, pulling out my phone calculator. After crunching numbers, I smiled brightly. "Miss Parker, that'll be $389,000. Since you're Ethan's friend, I'll waive the change." My hands moved swiftly as I began folding garments. "Who's covering this?" Ethan blinked in confusion, brows furrowing. "Lily, Emma's practically family. Why bring money into this? Even brothers settle accounts clearly." I countered sweetly. "Especially when it's your dear sister, not mine." He stiffened, waving his arm dramatically. "Lily, my sister should be your sister too. Apologize to Emma immediately." Beside him, Emma sniffled like a chastened child, rubbing her eyes. "Lily, I'm so poor I can't afford these." I shouldn't have looked. Then why bother trying? I arched an eyebrow. "Did I invite you? You strutted in here yourself. Now you're crying poverty after sampling the goods? That's enough." Ethan's face flushed crimson. "Just because you grew up privileged doesn't mean you can bully Emma." He stabbed at his phone screen. "Here's $3,800. Happy now?" Mr. Campbell. I sighed. Accepting the transfer. The total was $389,000. Consider this $3,800 payment for that custom shirt you're wearing. Ever since opening my couture studio, Ethan had treated me as his personal tailor. Lily, this fabric would make a great shirt. Lily, whip me up a suit. Lily, 2 ties for gifts. Bridging Hanfu elegance with Western tailoring strained my skills. But my former lovesick self had stitched every thread with devotion, mistaking servitude for romance. He'd croon, "My girlfriend's so talented," before tacking on new demands. Make my mother a holiday dress. Lily, when I suggested store-bought options, he'd lecture sternly, "How could you disrespect mom like that? Your handmade gifts show true filial devotion." Through years of psychological manipulation, I'd become the Campbell family's unpaid seamstress, purchasing fabrics with my own funds, enduring their nitpicking, swallowing every backhanded compliment. My rebirth came inconveniently late, with wedding dates set and dowries negotiated. But awakening needs no timetable. I tugged Ethan's sleeve meaningfully. This shirt's fabric alone cost $2,600. $3,800 is charity pricing. As for Miss Parker's selections, my smile sharpened. That's cost price. No markup. Consider it a friendship discount. Ethan's jaw tightened. Emma fluttered over like a wounded sparrow, clutching my sleeve. Lily, you've got so many pretty things. Can't you spare some for me? We'll be family soon. My parents died young. Aunt Margaret barely kept me fed. How could I afford such luxuries? Her shoulders shook with artful sobs. Enough. Ethan wrapped a protective arm around her. We're family. Lily, stop this nonsense. The air hummed with unspoken truths. My measuring tape coiled like a serpent at their fairy tale charade. Lily had never known parental love. As my sister-in-law, you should know how to care for her, Ethan declared. I shook my head, smiling sarcastically. Ethan, there are countless parentless children at the orphanage. Do you plan to adopt them all? Ethan's veins bulged as if personally insulted. Lily, how could you say that? Emma's different, she's my sister. Exactly, your sister. Feel free to buy her designer dresses and shower her with affection. I crossed my arms. I'm not stopping your little charity project. His face darkened at my double entendre. Either pay for those garments right now, I continued, or get out of my studio. This is ridiculous. Lily. Ethan reached for the embroidered silk robes. They're just clothes. Emma's our family. Our family? I snatched the garments back. Last I checked, I run a Hanfu studio, not a soup kitchen. That $30,000 hairpin collection isn't charity inventory. Behind him, Emma sniffled dramatically, those deceptively innocent eyes glistening. I remembered those same eyes gleaming with triumph when her obsessed fanboy ran me over in my previous life, leaving my broken body on cold asphalt. Fine. Ethan's shout brought me back. Our engagement's off. No Campbell would marry such a petty. Thank God. I burst out laughing. I was waiting for you to say it. What self-respecting woman would marry into a family that can't even afford proper dowry? My standard's $2 million. By the way. The color drained from his face. Emma seized the moment to clutch his arm. Crocodile tears streaming. Please don't fight because of me. Ethan. It's all my fault. I signaled security without breaking eye contact. Emma darling, if you want pretty things, get a job. Tears won't pay for luxury goods. The guards escorted them out as I changed all access codes, thinking they'd lick their wounds in shame. I never anticipated Ethan's next move. That evening, Margaret herself appeared at my door. Turns out my ex-fiancé never outgrew his mommy issues. Funny how I never noticed his Oedipus complex last lifetime. Sigh. Love-struck stupor really does make one deaf. Blind. And heartbroken. Margaret marched into my studio with that insufferable matriarchal air, plopping down on the sofa without invitation. "Lily," she barked. "I heard you quarreled with Ethan and Emma?" I rolled my eyes, refusing to dignify this with a response. Since when did my family observe such absurd formalities? Oblivious to my contempt, Margaret continued, "You're not even married into our family yet. Acting this entitled? Where's my tea? Where's the hospitality? Emma's family now since the wedding. Just give her those dresses she likes. Must you be this petty?" Her bony finger jabbed toward my closet. "Well, fetch them for your sister." Beside her, Emma sniffled theatrically. "Aunt Margaret, don't scold Lily. She's just attached to her new clothes. This is all my fault. What exactly makes you think you deserve my wardrobe, Margaret?" I laughed coldly. The old hag shot up like scalded cat, trembling finger aimed at my face. "How dare you disrespect me? My own daughter-in-law." I corrected. "I dumped your precious Ethan this morning. No mirrors in your hovel? Go piss a puddle and see what trash your son really is." Ethan lunged forward, face purple. "Lily! Still here after being insulted? Your family's shamelessness astounds even me." Margaret collapsed into the armchair, clutching her chest like Victorian heroine. "Ethan! This is the harpy you chose?" Her wails escalated. "After all I sacrificed raising you orphans, now you let this gold digging." Gold digging. The irony choked me. In my previous life, I'd believed Ethan's ardent pursuit was love. Only in death did I learn he'd meticulously researched my inheritance only child. Suburban mansion. Commercial properties. The Campbells' 3-generation plan to bleed me dry. Emma's initial borrowing of dresses had been the first thread pulled. Then modeling for my Hanfu brand. Helping with designs. Managing my studio while harassing staff. Every protest met with Ethan's "You're embarrassing me" and Margaret's screeching lectures. Behind closed doors, Emma flaunted stolen jewelry. "Everything you own belongs to Ethan now. Therefore, mine." Their final act? My accidental overdose after signing over assets. Ethan's tearful interviews about mental health awareness went viral. My death funded their Hamptons timeshare. Margaret's current performance deserved Oscars consideration. My poor heart. After raising you two through poverty. Spare the dramatics. I tossed divorce papers at Ethan. "Your son's been sampling his sister's bed since last Thanksgiving. Check his phone's cloud backup. Marvelous HD footage. The color drained from 3 faces. Emma's tearful "It's not what" died as I activated the projector. Grainy but unmistakable. Hotel security footage showed them entwined in my studio's back office atop the very sofa Margaret occupied. Out. I held the fire extinguisher like Excalibur. Or I introduced Parker's and Campbell's to viral fame you can't monetize. Their retreating shrieks harmonized beautifully with shattering porcelain. Through the window, I watched Margaret slap Emma mid-street. Ethan desperately hailing cabs going the wrong way. My lawyer's text chimed. "All assets frozen. Restraining order filed. We're ready." This time, the vipers would choke on their own venom. The daughter-in-law hasn't even stepped through the door. Yet she dares insult her future mother-in-law? How am I supposed to live with this in the future? Over there. Emma immediately started sniffling, massaging Margaret's shoulders. Then she began playing mediator. Coaxing me, "Lily, don't fight with Aunt Margaret. Don't speak about Ethan like that. He just wanted to buy me some new clothes out of kindness. Lily, I'm sorry." She kept bowing apologetically while urging, "You should apologize to Aunt Margaret. Look how upset she's become. Why should I apologize to your aunt?" I sneered. "And who the hell are you to lecture me?" Emma froze, tears cascading down her cheeks like a broken faucet. Across the room, Margaret shrieked, "Ethan! If you marry this shrew, I'll dash my brains out right here. Ethan grabbed my arm, snarling. Lily! Apologize to my mother this instant. I wrenched free and slapped him hard across the face. What trash! Didn't I make myself clear this afternoon? You bring your mommy and pseudo-sister to harass me, then demand apologies? He stood stunned, never imagining I'd actually strike him. Ethan. I spat. If my words weren't plain enough earlier. Let me repeat, get the hell out of my house. During the engagement negotiations. Didn't dear Margaret here claim your backwater family doesn't do dowries? Too poor for traditional customs. Yet shameless enough to demand my family buy the marital home? Have you no dignity? You're beneath me. Ethan. I called security to escort them out as Margaret screeched about filing police reports for assault. She even lunged at me before being restrained. The first thing I did after rebooting my life was discuss canceling the engagement with Mom. Her face lit up. She'd never approved of Ethan. That boy's decent looking but all ambition without substance. She'd warned initially, then reluctantly conceded. But if you're happy. Now she eagerly arranged to formally dissolve the match. I insisted we make Ethan break it off to avoid his future pestering. I anticipated messy arguments. Not this nuclear fallout. 2 days later. Cyberbullying detonated. Emma launched a live stream account. Weeping about my tyranny. Viral clips spread of Floral Shadows Hanfu Studios owner, yours truly, not only demanding $200,000 dowry last minute but abusing my future mother-in-law and tormenting Ethan's sister. Emma's tearful essays set the niche Hanfu community ablaze. My Weibo notifications exploded with 99+ messages. Hate DMs flooded in. How can someone who designs such beautiful Hanfu be so vile? Weren't they planning a dream traditional wedding? I was ready to buy their bridal collection. Disgusting. Boycotting Floral Shadows forever. Those were the polite ones. Others hurled anatomical insults. My assistant panicked. Our Taobao cancellation rates are skyrocketing. What do we do? I chuckled. Thank goodness I came back prepared this time. Ethan Campbell and Emma Parker probably never dreamed I had installed surveillance in my walk-in closet. All I did was post footage of them rummaging through my designer clothes and jewelry, trying to take whatever they wanted without paying a dime. I followed up with a detailed post setting the record straight when discussing marriage. His family demanded my parents fully pay for a 2,000 square foot penthouse downtown as our marital home, insisting their entire family be listed on the deed. Given that, is my request for $200,000 dowry unreasonable? The kicker? They wouldn't even fake a $20,000 dowry for appearances. During the engagement negotiations, my mother's face grew stormier by the minute. Back then, I naively believed my wealth was Ethan's by default, that pampering his mother and sister was my marital duty. Buying luxury real estate seemed trivial. When his family refused dowry, I dismissed it as symbolic. How wrong I was. The video went viral, shifting public opinion overnight. Comments flooded in, they just helped themselves to 6-figure wardrobes? No shame. Who raids someone's private closet? The audacity. Emma's pathetic playing victim online. Fashion enthusiasts chimed in too, that crimson Kasai horse face skirt is divine. Wake up people, that's thousands per inch of weaving. Lily. Release the peony embroidery design already. Stop hoarding the good stuff. Ditch the gold digger and focus on your brand. We stan a boss babe. Emma became the laughingstock overnight. My mother didn't even bother confronting them personally. Having our lawyer terminate the engagement citing incompatible values, diplomatic legalese masking her utter contempt. When formal dissolution papers arrived, Ethan was floored. After 3 years pursuing me and an impending engagement where I'd been the doting fiancé, he never saw this coming. In his mind, I was still the lovesick girl who believed total self-sacrifice defined true love. My past self had embodied that toxic ideal completely. He bombarded my phone with calls. After ignoring a dozen, I blocked him entirely. But as a business owner, I couldn't avoid physical confrontations. Next day, he stormed into my atelier. "What's your game, Lily?" he demanded, face flushed. I smiled coolly. "You declared the Campbells would never marry someone as petty as me. Consider your wish granted. Direct all communications to my attorney. I'm finalizing new designs." I gestured at screens filled with customer demands. "See? My Hanfu community needs me." Watching my calm demeanor, Ethan mistook this for a lover's spat. His voice softened. "Enough games, sweetheart. I get it, you didn't want to share those special collection pieces with Emmy. The engagement party's all set. Stop this nonsense." He moved to embrace me, that familiar wheedling tone creeping in. I stepped back smoothly, his arms closing on empty air. I pushed him away with all my strength, my expression turning stern. "Ethan, keep your hands to yourself when you speak to me, or I'll report you for sexual harassment right now." Ethan blinked in shock at my cold demeanor, his brow furrowing. "Lily, what's this tantrum about? I've already apologized. What more do you want?" "I'm warning you." "Warning me about what?" I cut him off with a bitter laugh. "Don't make a scene. Go buy some gifts this afternoon and apologize properly to my mother," Ethan continued. "Also, I've decided you don't need to hire that Hanfu model for your new collection photo shoot. Let Emma handle it. Give her the modeling fee. And since she's job hunting, it's not safe for a young woman to work elsewhere. She'll join your studio. Family should support each other." His audacious monologue nearly made me laugh aloud. Hadn't he noticed the lawyers drafting our dissolution of engagement? Did he truly think this was some lover's quarrel? The sheer gall, showing up with this condescending apology, then trying to shove his precious Emma into my business? Since when did women become too fragile to work? Was his sister some delicate princess? "Ethan," I said slowly, "did you fail reading comprehension? The lawyers have already begun proceedings. We're done. This isn't a tantrum, you're not worth that energy. Leave. Now." I signaled my newly hired security guard to escort him out. He stumbled away looking dazed, probably wondering how his obedient puppet suddenly grew a spine. Over the next days, I compiled 3 years' worth of financial records. Every digital transaction exposed our imbalance. The bespoke suits, leather accessories, and luxury dinners I'd funded totaled over $1 million. His gifts? Stuffed animals, grocery store flowers, diner meals. My legal team prepared to demand full reimbursement. When served the lawsuit, Ethan's bravado crumbled. Calls came flooding in, each new number met with instant blocking. He camped outside my studio until security turned him away. "Proceed with the lawsuit," I told my attorney during the late July downpour, rain cascading down the windows. "If he doesn't return every cent and possession by tomorrow morning, we're taking him to court." The Campbell family heir finally understood this wasn't some negotiable lover's spat. This was war. When Emma Parker came to my place, she knelt at the door, crying while recording a video, sobbing uncontrollably. She pleaded, "Lily, I was wrong. Please forgive Ethan this once. I'm just a poor soul who's never owned nice things. When I saw all the new clothes in your walk-in closet, I couldn't resist. Ethan only took those dresses for me because he pitied me for growing up orphaned. Please don't break up with him over this. He can't live without you. He truly loves you. He says life isn't worth living if you won't forgive him. I'll do anything you ask. Even die." Fake sobbing. The moment this footage hit social media, it went viral. Clueless netizens flooded my comments, calling me petty for tormenting my future sister-in-law over some dresses and giving my boyfriend ultimatums. Comments piled up, "She's just being dramatic to control his family before marriage. Who makes a girl kneel in pouring rain over clothes? Disgusting. That dude should dump her toxic ass ASAP." Then Emma's emotional post dropped, accusing me of bullying Ethan and disrespecting Margaret. She claimed full responsibility while begging me to reconcile with her brother. Since this happened outside my design studio, internet sleuths quickly doxed my business location. Though some loyal followers from the Hanfu fashion community defended me, their voices drowned in the outrage tsunami. I waited until the storm peaked before responding. Our breakup wasn't just about stolen dresses, we're fundamentally incompatible. The Campbells demanded I fully fund our marital home. I attached property documents and a bombshell photo set. The real reason I'm ending this is too humiliating to say aloud. I wrote, "You've all seen the girl begging me not to leave her brother in the rain. Now look at these shots of her making out with her cousin in his car. Wouldn't any self-respecting person walk away?" I simply called it incompatibility instead of exposing their incestuous mess. The internet exploded, again. Emma's manipulative rain stunt had initially rallied sympathy, dragging the entire Hanfu community into disrepute. But my photo evidence flipped the script. Reactions turned nuclear. Holy shit, they're actual cousins? And they had the nerve to beg her not to cancel the wedding? The Campbells aren't just greedy, they're sick. Dodging this family was survival, not pettiness. From dress drama to cousin-lover expose, the Parker Campbell clan became synonymous with entitlement and depravity. No PR spin could salvage this train wreck. Almost immediately, public opinion solidified. Both Ethan and Emma's normal lives were disrupted. Whenever Ethan went to work, colleagues would point fingers and openly mock him about the broken engagement. Some confronted him directly. The difference between humans and beasts is that people understand basic decency. You don't even know that much. Doing such vile things to your own cousin. Company leadership declared his conduct unbecoming, pressuring him to resign rather than face termination. That evening, the entire Campbell family confronted me. "Lily, do you have any idea what you're doing?" Ethan stormed at me. "Spreading lies is illegal." "Lies?" I sneered. "Should I release your hotel receipts with Emma?" I explained I'd originally planned a quiet breakup, but Emma's relentless online harassment had damaged both my reputation and Bloom Studios. "Return everything you've taken from me, through proper channels or otherwise, and we'll call off the engagement cleanly. Otherwise, I've got more revelations ready." Ethan's face darkened. Beside him, Margaret looked equally furious. Emma tried defending herself, siblings being close as normal. "You're twisting this into something perverted." I laughed coldly. "Were you just siblings when checking into those hotels? Or should we discuss why you suddenly fled abroad 5 years ago?" Emma paled, trembling as she glanced at Margaret. Cornered, the Campbells negotiated terms. They agreed to cancel the engagement if I deleted compromising photos. But I insisted on full restitution. Ethan reluctantly complied, though his partial repayment took over a week of legal pressure. The moment funds cleared, I blocked all his contacts and posted our breakup announcement, deleting evidence as promised. My private investigator, well paid and thorough, sent an update weeks later. "Check the news. Emma's threatening to jump off a building." Post-breakup, unemployed Ethan faced constant public shaming as that incestuous creep. Blaming Emma instead of reflecting, their fights grew vicious. Margaret, who'd initially welcomed my union with Ethan, now berated her adopted niece while quietly regretting losing access to my family's resources. The truth about Emma's origins surfaced, orphaned after her parents' car crash. Rescued by Margaret, who'd seized their estate. Now disgraced. The Campbells tried evicting Emma, who countered, demanded her inheritance including accident compensation funds. The investigator's final message concluded, "Whole family's tearing itself apart." You called it perfectly. The Campbell family was thrown into chaos. Emma Parker then climbed onto the rooftop, threatening to jump unless Margaret Campbell returned her parents' inheritance and survivor benefits. Someone called the police. Officers brought Margaret and Ethan to calm Emma down, but resentment simmered beneath their forced concern. Margaret's composure shattered when Emma demanded property deeds and financial compensation. The older woman exploded in fury. hurling insults that echoed across the rooftop. Whether by accident or despair, Emma plummeted 35 stories to her death. Margaret faced criminal detention for abetting suicide. The tragedy exploded across social media. Paparazzi unearthed disturbing details. Emma had been dating Ethan since she was 17, had undergone a back-alley abortion with Margaret's supervision, and been shipped abroad to hide the scandal. They'd only allowed her return when Ethan prepared to marry someone else. A sharp-eyed female officer reviewing the case files noticed statutory rape red flags. During 2 intense interviews with me, she learned I'd broken off my engagement after discovering Ethan's history. Due diligence before marriage, I explained when questioned about my own investigation into Emma's past. Though no charges stuck against Ethan initially, his world crumbled. His mother jailed. His reputation destroyed. Employment opportunities vanished. One stormy night, drunk and despondent, he drove his Mercedes through a riverside barrier. Rescuers fished the wreck from the Hudson a week later. The body inside barely recognizable. Only when the medical examiner confirmed Ethan's identity did I finally exhale. The man who destroyed Emma and nearly entrapped me could never harm anyone again.